The touch screen on the head unit of this Skoda Yeti doesn't work. Let's fix it. Firstly, we need to remove the surrounding fascia. Using a trim removal tool, gently pull this away. It's best to start this at the bottom corner where the buttons are. This area has the most clearance to fit the trim removal tool in. Once you pop out the first few clips, this should just pull away. Now we need to remove the 4 Torx screws holding the head unit in place. You will need a T20 Torx bit to remove these. Links to where you can buy all the tools and replacement digitizer are provided in the description below. Once these screws are out, you can pull out the entire head unit. You now need to remove these connections. If you turn the unit upside down, then you can access the retaining clips easier. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Broken Fixed. With these off, we can bring the head unit inside for dismantling. Firstly, let's remove the Satnav SD card. Now pull off the volume and select control switches. Now we remove these 7 small Torx screws. You will have to break your warranty seal to get to the last one. You will need a small T8 Torx bit for these. Once these are removed, using a small flathead screwdriver, unclip the front panel from the left and right sides. You may also need to unclip the underside clip if it's stuck. Mine came out easily, so I didn't need to touch the lower clip. The front face should just lift out. If your head unit is fitted with a CD player, then you may also need to remove the top of the unit. Now we are going to remove this metal panel. Unscrew and remove the small Torx screws. These are smaller than the previous ones, and you will need a T6 Torx bit for them. Once these are removed, the metal panel should just lift out. Remove the SD card holders. These are held in place by a little clip on the inner side. Now we need to unscrew the Torx screws holding in this main circuit board. These are also T6 Torx. Unclip the two ribbon connectors. This is done by lifting up the clip and carefully pulling out the ribbon. Now you can lift out the whole circuit board. This is the screen. Remove it from the plastic surround. We need to remove the front of the aluminium frame by slightly lifting up each clip with a small flathead screwdriver. Take your time with this and be careful not to damage the screen underneath. Once that is loose, it should just lift away. The old faulty digitizer is glued to the screen, so we cannot remove it without using a precision heat-controlled oven. But we don't need to remove it as these digitizers are so thin we can stick the new one over the old one. Use some isopropyl alcohol to make sure the old screen is perfectly clean. You are sticking the new screen over this, so any dust or fingerprints left behind will be permanently visible if not removed now. Once you have the old screen perfectly clean, you can peel away the protective tape from the new digitizer and fit it over the old one. Take care when doing this to make sure it is fitted exactly over the old one and the electric ribbon is in the same place as the old one. Now replace the aluminium frame. This will not click in like it did before, as this screen is a little thicker than it was previously with two digitizers in there now. It won't make any difference when this is all put back together, but for extra security I fit a little electrical tape to 3 of the sides. Drop this back into the front frame. Make sure the ribbon connection is the correct way around. There are now 2 ribbon connections for the digitizers. The lower one is for the old screen and will no longer be used. Pull through the new ribbon connection for the new digitizer and the larger ribbon connection onto the circuit board. Clip both ribbon connections into the circuit board. Before pushing down on the retaining clips, make sure the small extended parts of the side of each ribbon are sat in the correct place. Once they're in, then close the retaining clips. Now replace the small Torx screws that hold the circuit board in place. Next, slide and clip in both the SD card readers. There is a small plastic mount for these to slide perfectly in place. Now we mount and screw back into place the metal frame. Once that's all back together, you can push into place the 2 control switches on the front of the panel. Now slide the front of the head unit back into the main body. The electrical connection is a push fit and should fit snugly back together once the side clips are in place. Replace the Torx screws holding this front face in place. This is ready to go back into the car once we put the navigation SD card back. Back in the car, reconnect the various wires to the back of the unit and make sure they are clipped in correctly. Slide the unit back into the dashboard and replace the 4 Torx screws. Carefully clip the surrounding fascia back into place. Now let's test this new screen.
For avoiding the conversation. However you like it.
With specific nutrients.
Everything is working perfectly again. Job done.